YouTube. We're broken. Yeah, I want the pop-out chat. Very nice. It would be really nice. I think our GPU's doing all the heavy lifting here. Yep. Yes, it is. Double check it's on the right GPU. It is. Perfect. Now YouTube. Can you load my chat? What if we go? Just look it up. That's better. Oh my God. Well, that's really nice. Just had a webcam completely fall off the monitor for no apparent reason. Cool, appreciate it. That's a little better. Okay. At least I can catch my chat in here, right? Sorta. Man, Windows kind of sucks for window layouts. Okay, something. Tune the music down a little bit more here. I still think we could go a little bit lower. Let's preview off of. And just quality down a bit, and then preview over here. It's so complicated. A little bit lower latency over here. Music's not bad. We'll go a little bit lower. Lower still. Mic volume seems like it's at a good level, though. I dare say. Okay, I think we're gonna rock with that. -25 on music. That ought to work. Okay, So that'll be chat and that, and then let's catch our activity feed. Actually, we're gonna make that full screen because okay, cool. So I think we'll just kind of get rolling here. Maybe just with a little bit of initial cleanup because I left a mess behind me, and then we'll get the sign out of the way and start doing some things in here. So I was hanging a picture frame earlier, so I grabbed an awful lot of tools. So I need to put all these back. Eventually, we're gonna 3D model and 3D print some brackets for all these drills and things. But right now, at the moment, I got other things to do. Okay, bits can go through the bits. This can go in there. Tape with the tape. Stud finder with the stud finder. Alright. Handy little carrying thing. Yeah, shit. Knocking stuff over already. Okay. Well, I think maybe we just get started. Let's check our scenes here. I think that's cam 1. We'll go to cam 2. And put that up. We'll call that position 1. And then let's go to cam 1. We'll call this position. Call it position 1. And then we'll adjust here. Call this position 2. So I think that'll work. Oh man, I have 3 previews. It's gonna get hard to look at. I might scroll partway down the YouTube one so it's not as distracting. So I can just see chat. I just now realized we're probably gonna see the vertical chat. I wonder on YouTube, is vertical and horizontal the same? I think we'll just look at there. Just look at that. Okay. Preview up there is decent. What else do we need to clean? Heck. Okay, well, why don't we'll just get started. We're gonna go why is that camera pointing in a different direction? So weird. Yeah, what the hell? What is this camera's deal? It keeps going for the crotch shot. Anyway, welcome to Channel Fimorth on Twitch and Better Done Right on YouTube. We're dual streaming this evening. We're going to be doing some rearranging in the room, covering some updates, and then beyond that, we'll see. We might get the laser engraver booted up. We might do some other things. What did I even title this? Filming. Yeah, we actually do need to do some webcam filming. So for the filming, I've got a turntable behind me. Lighting has been worked around in this room, and this whole room has changed. We used to be on the back wall. There used to be 5 different shelves in here. We've consolidated that to 2. We've added another in the closet. So the numbers are kind of weird, but in the walking space, there's only 2 now. We have added Varipoles along the ceiling. Those are basically an extendable rod that can go wall to wall, ceiling to ceiling. And I'm routing, oh, damn. Okay, so that's my second. That's my fault. Sorry about the shot there. That must have been set up from a previous, the last thing I was doing. So we got another cross shot there. Okay, great. Great, this is going great. So Varipoles are now routing and holding lights or cameras. We have our overhead cam is now mounted on a Varipole instead of a light stand. So it can actually be a true top-down camera, which is super duper exciting. There we go. Okay, if I don't fat finger the remote too much, we should be okay. Part of that is we've acquired a UV laser engraver. It's a dream tool of mine, and it needs ventilation. So we have ventilation, but I have to mount this or run it near a computer because I need a data connection. And the problem is that that I don't want to have my computer right next to the window. So to run a duct to vent it, that ended up in the duct running on the ground, which wasn't very nice. So I have used one end of the Varipole to route the duct up and over, kind of around the door frame. And now you can walk in here, you can carry things through without stepping over things, and you could wheel a cart through if you had to. We also have some lights in the background, kind of going old school with some fairy lights and such. I can plug in the fairy lights. So they're just a little kind of a Christmas light deal from IKEA, and they're kind of fun. Kind of leave those on a little bit. So those will make a nice background in orbit shots with our orbit table here. And then we do also have a couple, 3 globe lights that could be really interesting to incorporate as well. So for now, what my goal is to actually move these shelves. So I might actually take the fairy lights down. My thought is that I have a table over here in the corner, and it's got a bunch of junk on it at the moment, but the plan, the camera will focus, was to put my old laser engraver on that. And then we could run the vent over there and do some lasing. But I don't like permanent uses of space like that for temporary tools or tools that don't need to be there 100% of the time. So it might be more of a setup and tear down type of situation instead. And I'd love to put a shelf back in that corner and get it off the wall. If I can get the second shelf off of the wall, then I won't have shelves in the background. Okay, thought I hit the wrong, thought I was gonna go for another cross shot there. And if I don't have shelves in the background, 1, we have a cleaner background, and 2, I can start hanging art and my sword and different things on the back wall, or even using the back wall for a giant cork board or something like that. So that's all very exciting. And my phone is wanting to restart, so why not? We'll let you do that. This evening we are drinking a cranberry fizz. Cranberry fizz poppy. They're delicious. We were lucky to get some. They're very popular. And one thing I want to do with a laser engraver is take aluminum cans, cut them into sheets, and then use the engraver to cut those sheets into shapes and patterns. Potentially name tags, or just exploring the durability of that. Even if you were to cut them into snowflakes, that would be really fun as ornaments or decorations. So I've been collecting all of my poppy cans and such, not recycling them. So why don't we get started? My phone keeps making noise. Another addition to the space that I did not stream, but I did record it, and we're gonna hit our, hey, if I'm not standing there, this works. So this is the Alex drawers from IKEA. It's just a 6-drawer stand. I don't know furniture terminology, but this is housing my rigging and camera gear at the moment. Anything that isn't a lens or critical enough of an electronic component that I want it to be in a dehumidified environment, it goes in here. So we have our constant use things like the main, whatever current rig I'm building, all the parts are in there, plus microphones. And then we have cables, which are also the associated stuff that I need right away on the left, and then some other occasional use ones on the right, and some adapters. Then we have like general rigging, and this is the nicest drawer. I'll have to get you an actual angle so that you all can see this. Where is my remote? I just had it. What have I done? There it is. Okay, my phone, apologies. It is going insane, which you probably can't hear because I've got you on the lav mic today. That's a nice message. That's very appreciated. Okay, so let me swap to camera 1. Hello. And bring it down, something like that, and close that drawer. We're gonna get back to that drawer. We'll zoom in. Hey, that might work. And then let me get this out of the way. Some sort of way out of the way. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Hopefully I'm not standing in a weird way. Okay, that is out of the way now. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, let me show you through the chest of drawers. So, 6 drawers, and I arranged them by priority. So our top drawer is, as you can see, fantastic. The common use things for whatever rig I'm working with at the moment, plus any constant use audio equipment or associated things. So there's a little bit of space to add in here, which will be great. Then we have our constant use cables that go to the left, our power adapter and data, things like that. And then some other very nice to have, very nice to use cables on the right, but they're maybe not as frequently used. Then we have the nicest drawer, in my opinion, which is the general rigging drawer. So everything's kind of nicely laid out, kind of organized by what it does. I even have these separate little takeout containers, so I can pull those out and build something real quick. Like this one's really useful for that because it has all kinds of NATO rails and adapters for other equipment, lens mounts, and cable like mounting components. So it's nice to be able to pull that out, have all kind of the loose rigging bits. Then we've got phone mounts, magic arms, spare top handle, side handle. Then we have all the spare bolts, all of the various Allen keys that come with all the different things you buy. And then we have rail accessories, so spare rails, battery plates, lens mounts, random different cheese plates and adapters. That's my favorite drawer. Then a little bit bigger drawer down below is like lens related things, but not lenses. So it's spare lens mounts, lens filters. We have some like L to L adapters that are like macro extension tubes. And then we have step up and step down rings kind of mixed in there as well. Then we have displays and alternate power options. So a couple on-camera monitors. We have a battery for that. We have an adapter, another adapter. They all kind of do the same thing. They're all the same platform. And then we have random power bricks and things for other components that are kept in the dry cabinet. So that's where I'll be able to find those. And then the bottom drawer is miscellaneous. So we have a color checker paper. We have a couple mounting accessories for our rolling light stand. We have our white and gray balance fold out sheet. And then we have our slate as well, which, speaking of, in case my audio gets desynced, we'll give it a good clap there. Okay, so yeah, that is the drawer. We'll drop back to our second preview, hopefully. Yay! Okay, and then we have this whole drawer on wheels. Super sweet. I didn't even know it came with wheels. When I was pulling out the package from the warehouse, that's when I first realized it had wheels. So that was very, very exciting to me. And then we have our turntable that goes on top. There are a couple of tabletop surfaces, just kind of like work surfaces. One is cork, one is like a nylon with kind of a textured top. And that allows me to build the rig on top of this drawer. I can just pull up a rolling chair, work on the rig right there. Or, in this case, mount our turntable, just lay it on top of the deal, on top of the drawers, and we can work with this as it is. And I need to work with it because I have been working on a webcam video for a month or more. And it's so long now that I think I'm out of the return window for any of the things that I bought. So I'm kind of stuck with those for the moment until I sell them on the used market or whatever. But I really desperately need some B-roll for one of the two, well, I'll make a few videos hopefully, but the first video that I'm making about comparing different webcams. We have a whole bunch of different tests and footage that we've taken, but to tie it all together, I need some B-roll. Can't live without it at the moment. So that's where this comes in. I did also get these round kind of table, maybe it'll tell me in not Swedish what these are, but they're like a hot pad for if you're putting a pot of something delicious on a table. But these are both natural fibers, woven, and they have a nice kind of organic muted tone, which if you put something on this, like one of the webcams that we looked at, I feel like you could work with this surface quite well. And as you orbit this, it gives you something different to look at that isn't just black on black, like shiny black on matte black, kind of scheme. So we have a couple texture options, which is nice. So glad I picked those up. I obviously could make my own as well. In the future, we do have the laser engravers. We could do some cool patterns on different materials. I do have some black acrylic, which is kind of like polished stone. Like if you had a dark black granite countertop, it kind of looks like that, just without the speckle. So it has reflectivity, but it's muted. So if you put that on a surface like this and you orbit it, you get a reflection, but it's not super prominent. So that's this whole thing, which honestly, having this on wheels is an absolute game changer. Super, super glad it came with it, because as I go through this whole room turnover process, I'm realizing that options are the best thing for me, having options. So if my goal is to move both of these, oh, speaking of wheels, both of these shelves are now on wheels, which is another amazing and wonderful thing. Unfortunately, buying 8 wheels for these 2 shelves cost as much as buying a whole new shelf, because I was buying them aftermarket. They're very nice wheels. They all lock if I want them to, but it was not the most cost-effective way. The only other option, beyond just shopping around a ton, would have been to buy a new shelf with wheels, but that doesn't solve anything for these 2. So that's where we're at. It was kind of an expensive thing to do for what it is, but the value of it to me in this tiny little space is incredibly, incredibly important and useful. So I have to do some cleanup work to even get this space functioning. So I think we might plan on maybe moving the closest shelf into the corner and go from there, because I think, well, now that I look at it, because I need to be able to mount this in the window. This is one end, this is the outgoing end of the duct, the vent. That needs to be able to go to the window, and I think that lines up with this shelf. So if I left this area clear, I could roll it out, get the window open, roll it back, slide it in the window, close it, put the curtains back to hopefully quiet the noise down a little bit, and that might work. So yeah, I think this shelf is already set up to go to that spot. This shelf can go in the corner. That will hopefully give us a bare wall to be creative with. So to that end, I now begin cleaning, and you now watch me clean, is essentially how it's going. Hopefully the music is enjoyable. I put together a playlist from some of my licensed music for the YouTube, and it's kind of a lo-fi, kind of a jazzy guitar, well, acoustic guitar, classical acoustic guitar vibe. And then I think there's one lo-fi Christmassy song in there, which is fun. I should probably collect more of those to be a little more themed for the holidays. That would be fun. But yeah, that's the rundown. I think that's the updates. We're almost to the time that I wanted to originally wrap up all of this, but it took so long to get streaming that, oh well, here we are. I think we'll need to pull these lights off, and I'm looking to see, I thought I had seen magnets not too long ago, which I have now found. So I will snap a couple of these back. I think that might work. One might be enough. And I'll bring these little fairy lights over to the one shelf so it can all move together. So that kind of works. Now I need to get some recycling sorted. These are some extra bits from building on our last stream when we built the Alex drawer set. That was actually a lot of fun. Had a couple of people drop by and some were giving encouragement to build it as quickly as possible. So I endeavored to speed build the IKEA furniture, and chaos ensued because I got ahead of myself, put things in the wrong place, and started damaging things. But it was a lot of fun. I wish I had more furniture to build. That was a fun experience. So let me get some cardboard type things out of here. That'll probably clear up the most space the quickest. I think I just, as I was working on last stream, basically just threw everything in this corner, which is very annoying. Now for me, being the person that now has to deal with it, but at least I can get all of this stuff out of this room and onto the recycling. Grab this styrofoam as well from the TV. I forgot to mention, we got a new TV. I went out, and I think it was on Black Friday, or maybe like the weekend, where they're still doing sales, and purchased a TV that was not on sale. I just bought the thing that made the most sense and would be the best value for money in terms of a quality product. So that got mounted to the wall behind the streaming setup, and it is now my preview for everything. Big old, much bigger than the 24-inch monitor, so I can see chat very clearly. It's at a comfortable height. If I'm working in here, I can play something on it, have headphones in, and just chill out and vibe. So that's also super nice. We do still have the old 1080p TV off in the corner, and it's so heavy that I didn't feel comfortable mounting it on the wall. So it made sense to me to get a newer, much lighter television. So that has been done, which is actually kind of exciting because now that old TV can be freed up to be used in projects. Whether it is going to be like a virtual production environment where it becomes a background that you just put an image on, a video on, put it out of focus, adjust everything so it looks natural. Whether it looks like an artificial window or something like that, or if we completely take it apart, separate the backlight from the LCD, and then use it for projects in that way, having like a thin LCD layer that we can project things into, use as a projector. There's a lot of different options, and I'll have to pay attention to what's going to make the most sense for that. So carrying on, I'm mostly just trying to get space freed up in this corner, and we've already made a lot of progress, which is very exciting. So I think we'll just carry on with what we've been doing and try to make sense out of this space. Now we did decide we want this shelf to go forward of the other one, so I also need to clean over there. We do have a little cart now, that I've put some random stuff on. Basically, this more or less became like the teardown cart. Like I just threw anything that was important on it, but I didn't necessarily need organized right at the moment. So it houses mostly electronics and cables from different things from the most recent projects. So now we have this as well to use in projects as I work on things, bring it to different parts of the room to do whatever we need to do. So that clears up a little bit of space. I need to figure out what the heck to do with our vent. I'll bring this over a little bit. So you can see the vent now. It runs from the laser engraver up to our Varipole, which is what the camera is mounted on. And we have a little archway that we can walk through, which is life-changing. It's been annoying having it, but you absolutely need ventilation. So the first night I had the ventilation the other way because it was really hot in here and I wasn't lasing yet. So it was pulling air in and it cooled the room incredibly quickly because it was cold outside. That was super cool. Now the fan's not reversible, so at least not by switch. So I'd have to like physically reorient the fan blades, which is a little bit annoying, but it's designed to do a different thing, which is fine. Then the next night I was playing with the laser engraver and I mounted it up in the window, had it draw out all of the smoke fumes. That worked really well. That was really fun. And then the following night, I never put the other end in the window. I just turned it on. I was like, oh yeah, it's sucking the smoke in. And then like an hour later, my eyes were burning and I'm like, why are my eyes burning? It wasn't it was venting in the same room that I was in. It just was hazy. It was so diffused that I didn't notice right away. It just kind of was like, man, my throat kind of hurts. Yeah, because I was breathing paper smoke. So I'll have to make sure there's a process put in place for that. We do have these fun lights that I got. These are globe LEDs with a filament in them, an LED filament. And they're a lot of fun. And I'm gonna use them in the background a bunch and different practical lighting. I love the color temperature. They're like an 1800 Kelvin, so it's like a candlelight color temp. But I think right at the moment it's kind of in the way. So I think what I'll do is unplug this and I might grab my Velcro deal and just Velcro this up. And hopefully we can get the shelf around all this. But this will kind of get it out of my face when I'm dealing with this table that's in the background. But thank goodness for these Varipoles. These are amazing and surprisingly affordable. They're not like cheap by any means, but buying these off-brand ones, they're certainly strong enough. Every component on them is metal, so I'm not worried about the longevity. They're gonna last super long. But yes, for the price, even for the cost of the accessory mounting options, really impressive. Really, really happy with that. This is more accessories and more accessories. Hopefully the microphone picks up when I'm facing away from the camera. That's a problem when I'm outside, but there could be other interference that I'm not thinking of or not dealing with. And hopefully the music isn't too loud. I balanced it decently, I thought. I can do a quick check if this connects for me. Which it's not. I see. It connected to my phone. That's okay. We can always put the actual Headphones on. And then previous stream. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, seems good. I might actually turn the music up a touch. There we go. My silly phone is making noise again. Let's see what that's about. Perfect. Very much appreciated. It's so funny to me. I've done all this work. I have all these different lights in here, and it's just the lamp in the corner today that just is killing it. It looks amazing. It's mounted behind the vent, so we actually have like a negative area here. So it's just all this bounced soft light, and the color temperature is nice compared to everything else. So it's funny. I've taken or considered taking this lamp out so many different times because I'm like, I don't need it. I've got all these lights. And then today I just left it on, and it's looking nice. It's working out. So maybe it'll get some use actually, after all. Okay, so we need to get the vent figured out. So we might need to get space there. I do have a light, which you can see here, just with a dome, and we've actually routed our freaking thing over there. What if I grab this? So the Varipoles have these giant super clamps that you can buy. They're like about $25. They are stout as hell, and they do a few neat different things. You can get I think this is called a baby pin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know all of my lighting terms, but you can get the light mount for it, and it has a kind of a slotting or socketing system, I guess, and then a set screw, so you can mount it perfectly, securely. But they also have it where you can get these little drop loop U-shaped things, J-shaped things, to hold a roll or a rod that you can then stretch a sheet across for like a green screen. So 2 of these, 2 of those adapters, and then you can hang your green screen, which is super cool. So there's, some different options with this, but it's also an incredibly strong clamp with some 1 4x20 with some locating pins, not the RA spacing or anything. So they might have other accessories that mount in there, but you can also mount stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is struggle, because I need to get this light off this stand. That's an annoying sound. And to do that, we gotta take that off. And I'll loosen this off the C-stand. And hopefully find somewhere to put this for a moment or two. Maybe it goes on the rolling stand. Hey, that's actually not a bad idea for it in general. We just have power routed kind of nicely over there. So I'll get the C-stand out of the way. Ta-da. And we'll mount the super clamp up there. I need to get more of these super clamps because it's too freaking useful. And the handles do ratchet. By the way, I think that's becoming very much a standard, but it's still nice to have. I still have things before that was really a standard, and they're very annoying if you can't get it lined up perfectly. Hopefully you fit. You're not looking like you're gonna fit. Does not fit. How are we gonna do this? guess I could lower this. So I'm essentially just trying to get my light mounted elsewhere, but, well, in a similar position, but onto a different thing. So I can get that stand off the floor. So we'll tighten that on. Seems to work. Kind of raise it up where we can. And then see if I can tighten that enough. Hold it. No! So the whole varipole is actually rolling. Frustrating. Frustrating. You know, we really don't need this at the moment. So why don't I just take it down and throw it somewhere. That light stays on forever. So these modifiers are really cool. This one's, I think, from Aperture. No. Anyway, but it has a little release pin. The whole thing collapses, and then you can stick it where it needs to go. But it's nice to have things that are rapidly deployable. Okay. Making some progress. Got the light stand out of the way. I think I'll just retrieve my mount, which I guess if that was rolling, that I expect it would have tilted the camera, but the camera seems okay. So maybe I misinterpreted that. But that's okay. At least okay for now. Yeah, the varipoles are like having a drop ceiling in a way, but accessible and very functional. Super neat. They cost, at least when I bought them, about $180 for two, which is not bad. About 90 bucks a piece. They're certainly economically priced in the realm that they are in. Camera gear can get pretty excessively expensive. So I'm glad it's at least somewhat reasonable. Now I think this can move out of the way to some degree. And our other vent plate can go there. Okay. Now we're making even more progress. I think I'll just slide this under there to procrastinate. And we'll pack up our C-stand. I know how these things work. You don't need to tell me. How the heck? So it's got to be like a little loose to close. Ugh. Ugh. Yay. I can't tell. Yeah, no, I didn't even need to loosen that. Oh well, silly me. Good thing I don't care about this floor. I've got a space for this, but it's kind of blocked off at the moment. So I would like to have it go somewhere out of the way, ideally. Oh my goodness. Scratching the floor. That's going to be the annoying thing one day when I refinish this floor in here. I actually replace it, I think. I'm not going to want to show the floor because I don't want to damage it. So we're going to have to end up putting some kind of work floor down or something like that. We did end up rolling the Varipole, I've now realized. So we've had you guys on a slight Dutch angle. So I'm gonna try to fix that. Nailed it. Nailed it. Cool. Okay, I think our shelf can move now. Just debating everything, questioning everything. I think we could just roll it out this way. Once it's past the Varipole and these lights, we're gonna be home free. But right at the moment, everything's in the way. I will say, mounting these shelves and having a fair bit of weight on them and putting them on the wheels makes them feel much less stable. Just pushing on it, having all that movement is kind of nerve-wracking. But I have actually tried to tip them, and it's still very difficult. So I think it's just kind of, there's just a basic amount of movement now, simply because of what it is, and I need to stop being scared of it. Okay, we're running into everything. I'm looking at 18 different things, and my eyes are like Pennywise right now. Unfortunately, I brought things into this room and neglected to take them back out, like this rolling light stand. And now it's biting me in the butt. Yes, it is. Okay, so we've made some progress. I think I could get back here now. Move a couple things. Pardon me. That's decent. Not quite. Go! I just know I'm eventually gonna break one of these globe bulbs. And it's gonna be very sad. It's bound to happen. Just knowing my tendencies to forget about the fragile things I've put into spaces. Okay, so we've made some progress, and now the shelf is backwards for where we want it to go. So I'm going to keep up this trend of turning and maybe get this twisted all the way back around and into the space. What do we hit? That was going so well. Ah, imagine that, a light stand. My wife can relate to light stands being everywhere. She's had to put up with that for a long time. Okay, so that's all the way back. Got some stuff in the way. We'll keep turning that. What the heck was this even hanging on? What? Oh well. And okay, that's moving. Of course, like a smart person, I've put my broken glass collection, like things I've broken unintentionally, but I don't want to just put them in the trash without properly prepping it to go in the trash. Of course, I've put that on the highest shelf, so if it ever falls, it just causes the most mayhem. and the most injury. But we carry on, we carry on. We're very close. This is hitting the vent slightly and then not quite fitting into down there. But I think we're gonna be okay. I think the table that I made a long time ago, the old laser engraver, was 4 feet. Let me just measure that for sure. Yeah, 4 feet. Oh, this is 5 feet. No, wow, it's under 4 feet. Okay, so I think we'll definitely be good. Probably gonna gain a little bit of space. Putting this back here. That's gonna go to about the window. And then we're just past it. I think that's gonna work fine. I just have to move some more stuff that's over there. So I'm going to squeeze in to this back corner. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Having bare wall, it's a treat. This room has been so full of crap for so long because I have a lot of crap. And I've spent the last like 2 to 3 weeks of my life in very inefficient times, inefficient uses of time, but I've still spent those days in here cleaning and organizing to get it to the space that you see today. And now we're continuing that. Oh, there's a plunger. That's where the plunger went. Oh, okay. There's a random golf club next to the toilet plunger because those are related. You never know when you need to play golf on the toilet and unclog it at the same time. Or maybe you clog the toilet after your golfing session. That's more plausible. Okay, I think we've done it. I think that's gonna stay there. Yes. One thing that sucks is I've done a lot of this work so I have easy entrance and exit to this room because I hated having a shelf right there by the door because you'd open it and you immediately ran into a shelf. This has now put a shelf right by the door. You know, wall, door, wall, door, wall. We'll take the wall. Okay, this stuff needs to move now. I think we just move things. Luckily, we now have a shelf to put things under. So we'll do that. And then I think this whole table should be okay to move. One reason, you might look in here and think, oh, that floor is perfectly fine. Why would you replace it? It is terrible. It's a terrible floor. They used all of the shortest pieces from the other rooms and put them in this room and another side room. So when you do hardwood floors, you don't want your seams, ends of boards, and other ends of boards to line up. You want to stagger it, I think at least 6 inches. This room has, like, there's a few sections where it's just diagonal repeating patterns of 1.5 on 1.5 on 1.5. And when you do that, you don't have as much control over the ends of the boards. They don't have as much purchase. Like, that's the end of the board is where it's going to flex the most. So all of these boards are uneven. There's all these little sections that got added. So sliding things like shelves, like I had been doing, or tables across this floor is hell. Because the little feet, if you have any weight on it, or even light things, will catch on these boards, and it's on the other end of the table. And I gotta go like kick the leg and pull to get it to go, or just walk around it. And I haven't had the space to walk around, and I'm stubborn, so I move shelves. I've moved these shelves when they didn't have wheels. I moved them fully loaded. I didn't want to unload it, move it, because I never knew it was going to end up. So I'm moving like 200 pounds of shelf on these stupid floors. Anyway, it's very much worth doing properly, and then the floor will match the rest of the house. Because we've done the main floor for the sitting room, and then we've done the 2 bedrooms upstairs. We plan to replace the carpet in the living room to match. So it will be nice to be cohesive across the house. So at the moment, I really don't give a fuck about what happens to these floors. I will keep the wood. I think it'd be really nice to keep the different planks and hopefully rework it into some other furniture projects potentially, which is probably gonna kill me for the amount of work it's gonna take. But I think it would be cool to preserve some of the original hardwood. So I think these are original. This room used to have carpet. The 2 closets still have carpet in them. And I'll have to eventually figure all that out, replacing that as well to make it all cohesive. But okay, we're getting a corner exposed now. That's exciting. This is not quite going to turn in. I think we need this space to be able to turn this sideways and slot it in. So we'll bring this back. See how far we get. Looking good. Okay, that may be enough. Slide all that under. There's enough space now in this room where I can make things happen by moving 1 to 2 things at a time. I'm not moving like 8 different things in this weird orchestra to just get one thing across the room. It's so much easier now. Ow, I'm an idiot. Who thought it would be a good idea to hang big glass globes at various heights that are lower than my head height in this room? What an idiot. I should fire that guy. Okay. Why do I feel like this isn't gonna work? Maybe because I have experience with it. This stuff now. It doesn't normally go well. What was that? Okay. It's actually not terrible so far. Okay. Heavy breathing. Whoop. Okay. And I've got some boxes that are a little bit too tall. Where this is all gonna go. Underneath the, oh, that's where that went, my box of bags. Not a bag of bags, a box of bags. Gotta have a container holding the other kind of container. Come on, okay. Even moving the rolling shelves is kind of stressful with this floor because it still sort of hangs up on the unevenness. Now you can fix that with sanding. You're just gonna remove a lot of material. And I did that upstairs, but those were longer boards. So you're just not investing your time into something that's gonna last, unfortunately, with this type of floor, all the short lengths. Now, ironically, my plan is to do the main room, the living room, with all of the best, longest boards that I've purchased, and then put all the shorter ones in here. So I may end up buying more lumber just to mix it up a little bit in these rooms and do a little bit better job. Wow, okay, I'm off frame. But we have done something incredible here. And why is the second camera all the way over there? Camera 2. What is your deal? Reset. And why don't we try track? We'll try tracking. So, kind of fun. Yes, now we have a wall to be able to do things with. Pose against. Very nice, very nice. Our Varipole can go further back if we need it to. We could mount light stands and run a green screen here if we wanted. Very cool. This is really, really nice. I've got my acoustic ceiling tiles here. They're kind of an oddly shaped thing. And they've been used for a project already. That sucks, I kind of damaged that. Dang it. Idiot. Maybe I just slide that. I'm trying to decide where to put the table, because I really am not happy with the table. Table's in the way, I can't leave the room. We're gonna figure that out. We'll keep the camera on track mode and try it out. I really haven't tried it out yet, but it's kind of fun. Oh, I thought I was giving it a hand gesture for a minute. It does a really good job. That's awesome. Oh, I can walk to this. I've never been to this side of the shelf or the closet before. That's a funny joke. Not coming out of the closet, just going to a different part of the closet. Kind of want to move the Varipole back, but it's all rigged up. It's very scary. Maybe we wait. Maybe we wait on that. I'm at such an impasse because I don't know. I don't know where to put the freaking table. Heck, why don't we? Slide this over. Yeah. And then we'll slide the table back. I think the end goal, maybe I could adjust the table that I made. So I made the table, it used to be an enclosure for the laser engraver. So it had most of a box around it and then a door that would open. And it was to contain the laser light, hopefully trap some of the smoke, and then give me some more airflow control so I could waft the smoke out. But I don't need such a big table anymore for the engraver. Oh, that's right. I forgot I bought the expanded engraver kit. The one that doubles the width. So that's why I built it. So that might be worth kind of keeping an eye on. I do still have those parts. I think I'm a lot more likely to figure out a jig and a way to double up the smaller engraver footprint instead of use the wider x-axis, because I think I was running into a lot of slop issues, a lot of back drive issues not get as much granularity with the control. So we're constantly catching on stuff. Trying to slide this across the floor. We are making some progress. Yeah. Okay, so that's up against the tiles, loosely. And that's trapping stuff on the shelf, but it's not the absolute worst. It does kind of get it out of the way, and it doesn't look very nice. I think the camera lost tracking. Hello, thank you. So, interesting. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the table. I might see how flat of a reference we have just mounting the engraver on a different surface. I built a torsion box. A torsion box is essentially 2 flat sheets spaced with a honeycomb pattern, if you will. It's a lot like how cardboard is built, but what you put between has to be very identical in length. So you basically have 2 flat sheets with spacers between it. And as long as the sheets can conform to the spacers and you put the spacers evenly across, they will create this cardboard box that is incredibly flat. I think that's a good way to put it. It makes a great reference surface or worktop if you want to be able to build furniture or build things that are square. You need something flat, so you have a consistent reference point. But maybe I could cut it in half. In fact, I have tools to do that. And it probably wouldn't be the biggest deal. And then wouldn't need all that. I could even put it on the wheelie guy over there. It's just an unfortunately sized thing at the moment. Yeah, it's on these rails that I don't think I really need. They also help keep it flat. If I got rid of that, I could actually move this a lot easier. Just kind of not liking it at the moment. Also, I covered up an outlet back here. That's not a good idea. I might need that. So anyway, it'd be cool with shelves that I can now roll out of the way, and I can get access at this wall that'll allow me to decorate the wall. Or I can get wallpaper. I could paint it a different color. I could put up wood paneling, all sorts of different things on this back wall to create a vibe or whatever. And that's really, really exciting to be able to do that finally and actually make this space a little bit more intentional. Oh, I kind of want to move the Varipole again. I'm at a slight impasse here where we've made good progress, but now where to put all the things. So I think we'll just throw some stuff around. Try to make it work. Okay, not too bad. I have retrieved my stool. I've missed this thing. It's been off in this corner. Unfortunately, it is meant for a concrete floor, so it's actually been destroying the varnish on the floor. Again, doesn't matter, but it has been, which is, I guess any office chair without rubber wheels probably would do that too, so that's okay. Why are you doing this? Okay. C-stand was being silly. Silly with an S. Silly stand. Wow. I think we need to move the variable. I'm very nervous too. But it's gotta be done. Okay, so I will grab here, release the lock. Okay, that's released. Draw that in slightly. And we'll walk this back. Okay. Ah, shit, fuck. Shit. God damn it. Crap. Okay. Don't look at my butt. That is not what this is for. Okay. Okay. Time to double check. All I do on the variables, I go to one end and I try to shift it up and down. And if it doesn't move, I'm pretty happy with it. There you go. Okay, good. It wasn't looking at my butt. We're safe. Probably could have turned tracking off for that. That's okay. We have a friend to go lurk on. So I'll bring up said stream. We in fact have two friends. Let's quickly bring that up. Come back to mine. Hello. Okay. Now our lights are all the way back there. Is that gonna be a problem? Can I even freaking reach? Dang it. Why'd I do that? Ugh. I put them up higher. And I put the Velcro so far away. Ah, got it. Okay. Why don't we plug these in? Good God. What have I done? I've routed this all over the place. There we go. Ta-da! Some very warm lights to overpower the scene. These are not adjustable. And I run the risk of burning them up if I were to put my variable power supply deal on it, but maybe for science, it's worth it. I have a dimmer that I'm trying to get at right now. Presently acquiring. Of course, I put everything on top of it that I could possibly imagine to. Very good. So many power cords freaking everywhere. Okay, so this is a, thank you. This is a 120 volt variable power thing. Got it from Harbor Freight. Handy for certain things. Completely blows a fuse for other things. But let's try it on this. So maybe to save me having to go buy 3 bulbs, I'll be smart and not run all 3 off of this. But there's an option for on and off, basically, on this. And then there's a variable option. So I'm gonna turn 2 of these lights off. We're looking at this far one. I'm gonna turn this to a medium setting and turn it to variable. Oh, That freaking works. Is this even looking at me? Can I get the gestures? No, I can't. Now I look very stupid. Let's zoom in. Can I do the presentation? Oh, come on. It's supposed to track. Oh, I probably have to be out of frame for that. But what if I just click close up? Okay. Yeah, so that's cool. So looking at this very intently, this appears to be working quite fabulously. LEDs are kind of a fickle thing. They want a consistent voltage to operate at. Like there's a voltage range, a small range, where they're happiest at. Below and above that, either it won't turn on or it'll burn up. So to modulate the brightness of an LED, you have to control the current that flows to it. If you don't have a current controlling power supply, which is like kind of a hard thing to do in a little light bulb, then the only other way to control the brightness is to turn it on and off, to flash it basically, and use a duty cycle. A duty cycle of 50% would be it's on for 1/2 of a second and off for 1/2 of a second. That would be a 50% duty cycle. But you would see it flash on and off. So the way they get around that is they, now that we're super close up here, maybe we'll not be so close. We can zoom out. It's a little bit intense. The way they do that otherwise to make it so that you don't perceive the flashing is they just flash it more times per second, but it's still on and off for the equivalent amount of time. So a 50% duty cycle out of 1,000 flashes per second would just mean that it's on at 100%, 500 of those 1,000 times. And it would be sequential on and off, on and off, on and off. It wouldn't be a block of on and a block of off. The problem is you get a strobing effect, and we have a our eyes have an image persistence. So when you look at something, it kind of has a memory to it, to your eyes. So you don't perceive the flashing as long as it's above a certain threshold, above 30 flashes per second or so. But a camera that is not synced to an integer of 30 will pick up the moments in between as it's scanning of darkness. And that's when you get lines that strobe. So to combat that, you can have a much higher refresh rate, run it at like 10,000 hertz, or actually have a continuous output, which some like studio lights are really good at, but little LED bulbs, not so good. Fluorescence, definitely not so good. But these, they're not dimmable. They don't have the hardware to dim, but I am able to run them seemingly fine with my little dimmer deal. So why don't we run these, turn them all on. That was weird. I actually like heard it. Felt like. What the hell? I didn't realize this has been following me. Let's reset. These are flashing like a freaking rave. So it seems like there's a range where they are very much not happy to run like all of these. There's a minimum, it's glowing at a minimum. And then I can turn them up to a point and then they start flashing. So I guess I could keep these. Do you like the strobing? I don't think people like the strobing. I can do that. with 3 bulbs. That was weird. I don't know how that variable thing actually works, what it's actually functioning off of. Hopefully, I would think it's a current limiting thing and it just keeps the voltage stable. Luckily that strobing wasn't too bad, otherwise that would be like a seizure warning. But yeah, that's kind of cool. You can see them. They look nice and they're not casting a really strong glow that the camera can't keep up with. So that's cool. Why don't I put a couple light stands away and we can maybe actually get to some filming like I had said I would like to. I'm gonna just stick this hello. There you go. It works surprisingly well, but I'm also probably a really challenging subject because I keep going off frame and all that. But still looking good on mic. Yes, good deal. I'm gonna triple check that I've got the music going in the right freaking channel. Yes, thank goodness. Okay, that could have been going on the wrong channel the whole time. Okay, we'll just stick this back in the closet of closet things. Go with your light stand, friends. Or not, god damn. Freaking stupid thing. Oh, we get a little Dutch angle off to the side here, nice. I'm gonna have to get a better setup for that monitor preview type deal. We're gonna turn up the brightness in here just a little bit. Get a little more fill light back in here. 'Cause I can't see shit. Ow! That didn't hurt. That scared me. All right. Put that end in first. Okay, that worked. Whew. Got our big bounce. I think we could just stick that there for now. Ooh, shit. Close the door. Put that there. And my goodness, we've done things. Successfully done things. Ho ho ho. Exciting. Stop it. Okay. It might be worth having this in here somewhere. Does that? How far back does that go? That'll work. Okay, so now we can bring out the turntable. Wow. I just realized I probably need to bring those light stands back out and actually use them with the freaking light. Idiot. I could use the little light. We'll probably end up turning this overhead fill. And then we might turn that off too. So we probably are gonna use it. I do have this thing. I do have that thing. Okay. Crisis averted. Why don't we endeavor to film something? It's a little bit of setup, but it should be worth it. I think I've set enough stuff up that it should be pretty doable. We could actually take this off finally. I dropped it. Put that in the bottom. Rigging. Does it make sense in here? No. I think it kind of makes sense in the random assorted thing. I could even, no. Nope. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. So get this out of the way. Let's retrieve our stream is starting sign, which I adore. Put you up here with the Johnny Bravo sunglasses. We have a reflector dish. I don't know which one that goes to, but it'll go over there. Put this away for a moment. I guess we could go to our wide-ish cam because we keep. Stop tracking. Thank you. Position 2. No, stop. God dang it. Go away. Jesus Christ. Okay. There we go. What? We could put this one on tracking. Maybe it won't move quite as... No, I don't need both to track me. What? What the hell? Okay, that's weird. Oh well. We'll try that for a bit. Hopefully no one gets nauseous. And how do we want to lay these in there? Something like so, maybe. Just orienting this magic arm in a way that'll work to store easily. Seems okay. That'll work. Okay. So we got that. We're gonna need to mount the light, and we don't need to boom over, I don't think, because we have an overhead light. So I'm gonna just stash this somewhere. Stash this over here. Cool. So that's there. So we have the overheads. We need this with, I don't know what we're gonna do for sure. But now we have that light. And I'll figure out what the heck we're gonna do with it. Power's over there, but we'll arrange it as needed. Got so much crap in the background. It's annoying. Get my little fairy lights out. By golly. And hang some of these guys. Come on. They sure do like getting stuck on themselves. Did I twist it, or is it just that easy to get stuck? I twisted it. That's my fault. Blame me. Right? Okay, yes. And then we'll put that over there. There we go. Okay. Cool. Super cool. We need a subject that looks interesting. We could grab our little tablet stand. Mount that there, and then we can put something on it for the viewing. Okay, cool. We've got a light back here, a little projector light from the Small Rig company. light stands get in the way. I've got lasering goodies. Do I have a spot for lasering goodies? Yes. I'm making a spot. Okay. There we go. There's all that. Now I can get some of this moved. This is slightly too tall for this light. I'll need to replace this light eventually. But okay, there's that. We can get power run, maybe. How the heck have I done this? That goes over. Did it run between? Oh, it did. Okay. Where'd it go? Okay. Yay, we have a light. Action. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It didn't trip. Look at my beautiful open studio with all this room. I don't like that. And turn it on. Turn down the intensity. That's the thing about stronger lights, is they're hard to get dim enough. Okay. Now we can get a spotlight on this thing. This one does not have very much adjustment to its angles. Tilt, so we'll actually raise it up and then lower it, tighten the beam, close the doors. Okay, got a couple hard light sources now. Now that we have the Varipole out of the way in the back, I can swipe that out of the way. What is going on? Oh, okay. Let me, hello. Get some cable slack here. There we go. There's that with the top down, looking nice. I'd like to work with the background. So let's say we're coming around this way. Maybe we won't worry about those lights at the moment. We'll get kind of a shot over there. I should keep my duster nearby. My little bitty duster. There's all that. Okay, now we're talking cameras. Now we gotta rig up something here to make all this work. So I'm gonna grab the body and I'll grab a lens. And I'm just gonna change that over off camera, kind of off camera. I keep looking up. It's like I'm getting caught on the security camera. I do have a light in here. I haven't fully set this all up, but I've got a cool kind of side light. You can kind of see a little bit. All right, we're gonna throw that there. Grab that, swap that over there. Ooh. Drop that in. And cover that. We'll set our aperture to world's widest. Zoom to infinite and lay it on its back. Very nice. Okay. Thank you, dry cabinet. So now we've got a macro lens, and that's where all of this awesomeness really takes place, is with the macro lens. To make all this work, we're gonna need power for the camera. We're gonna need to transmit an image. I think it'd be cool if you guys could see it live. So I think we're gonna have to rig this out. And the great thing about this turntable is it uses standard spacing and standard sized rails here. Move this out of the way. Ish. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff I need to still clean up in here. Funny to have a follow shot, a panning shot when I'm downing a drink. Another one. Oh yes, nothing better than the glug glug sound. Nothing better. Okay, so let's test this out. My theory was camera would be easy to rig if we have proper setup. And I think this should be good. So the idea would be we could throw the camera up top and rig it out. So why don't we would do that, except I think we need to incorporate this because we're actually rigging to this. I think instead of mounting rails here, we're just gonna use the rail system already present. So that means we need to steel back our plate. Oh, that's not the right thing. Okay. Bear with me. Set that back to 0. Part of the reasoning of using the lower plate or the existing rails is I'm way overweight on this camera arrangement. Where the heck? Okay, got it. We got it. We're good. This is toolless, which is nice. So I'll just pick one that lines up reasonably. I think the threads are deep enough there. Good. We're gonna use the other position. I could actually, no, I can, right? Just use the side to side, or is this an Arca Swiss plate? Hang on. Have I done myself a solid? I have. Holy freaking shit. I'm incredible. I unintentionally bought the best thing ever, and I can just Arca Swiss mount this right on there. Very nice. So pleased with myself. Okay, so we've got that mounted. And can we adjust? Yeah, very slightly. We can adjust the balance. So that'll be cool. Okay, so now there's a few different things we need. We need power, and we're gonna get that in form of a V-mount battery. And I have a V-mount plate, which I will just slide onto the rear set of rails here. Fix it down. Our battery's decently charged. Fuck. There, actually unlock it instead of untwist it. So we'll mount the battery to the battery plate. I don't think I need stuff in there. I may end up coming back for the monitor mount, but now we need a power solution for the camera. And that is gonna run off D-tap, which we have 2 of because of our battery plate. So we'll connect up power. Now the camera has power. And now we need probably something, maybe we don't need a preview monitor or anything. Normally I'd rig up a monitor, something that's bigger than the display on the camera, but I think we're gonna be okay. So let's do that. I think we can get this extended. Our biggest thing here is actually going to be transmitting display information or camera information back to the stream. The way I'm going to do that is with, grab it. .4K wireless transmitters. These are affordable ones. These have HDMI and SDI. There's not a whole lot of limitations. You can get them to a reasonable transmission quality. Definitely enough for me to do on a stream. I don't know that I need to 100% capture it on the other end at a super high quality, but it's going to work excellently here. To mount that, let's go to our rigging bin here. I feel like a magic arm could work quite well. It just has a 1/4-20 on the bottom, and it just needs to be close enough to the camera to run a display cable to. So just trying to find a solution here. I do have a little accessory plate, and I have a magic arm with 1/4-20 on each end. So I'll just thread that in to the transmitter. I'll lock that in there, and then we'll thread that into there somehow. Let's lift this camera up even more. Okay. There we go. Now I can position this as needed. Slide it on the rails, it could go wherever, but display to display should work there. To power it, I could use USB-C. I think that's what we'll do. I could also run it off a NPF battery, NPF mount battery on the back, but I think the USB is going to be a little bit more elegant. We need display output from the camera to it. Always seems like these face the wrong way. Oh, that kind of worked actually. Okay, now we have power to that. That'll transmit to the receiver. The receiver I will plug into a, just saw it over here, a capture card. The CamLink 4K from Elgato takes HDMI in and puts it to USB. Heck. So I have a little Bluetooth dongle that I'm going to take out, put the Elgato CamLink in its place, and then I'll get a display cable. Any flavor of HDMI should work. Actually, I don't know that any flavor would. A suitably speedy one. And this is DisplayPort on one end, or is that HDMI? Okay. Is that HDMI to HDMI? Sweet. And I'll plug that in there. The Elgato. We will need power to our receiver, and I think the easiest way is just going to be using a battery instead of running the power jack. and everything. So we'll just, we're doing this right. Hey yo. Am I doing this right? It doesn't want to line up with the pins. Why no line up? Button? Is it the button that needs pressing, or the banana? Oh, okay, it went. So there's that. Receiver. We'll just put in our display out. I'll just set that on the desk. And I think we're just about good here. I might leave the lens hood on. I could take it off though, depending. Loosen that up. I'm curious. So the counterweights are in a couple stacks, but it's all the way out at the moment. And I honestly have a lot of weight on this, but because it's such a simple mechanism, just a bearing, I'm really not that all worried about it. So, okay, we might get this back into our light and reset our lights, hopefully not too in the way of everything. That looks kind of good. Let's get ourselves a preview now. Turn our camera on. Got to turn all the stuff on, battery and everything. Okay. We're in manual. Focus. Snag. That. Cool. We're awfully close. Why is that so shitty? Okay. Weird. So let's adjust this. Cool. Center that up. Of course, we can adjust everything to perfection. Don't know if I want the flaring or not. So we'll throw that on. Cool, looking good. All right, let's turn on our transmitter. We'll turn on the receiver. We're gonna come over to the computer and swap our cameras. And over here, the Elgato in OBS should be able to be added as a webcam. We're looking for video capture device, cam 4K. We'll search for it here. That is on, that is plugged, it has a light. Virtual cam, I don't think it's the Elgato virtual camera. It is not. Let me cancel that. We'll delete that. Source. What would it come up under? Because it kind of shows up as a webcam because it's over USB, so it should come up as a cap device. But I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm gonna unplug. Replug. see what we get here. I've used it on this computer since it's been updated and everything. So that should be okay. Okay, it's reconnected. Hey Gorilla, how are you? Welcome in. We're doing the normal craziness. Currently setting up a orbit shot on a product. I need to do some B-roll for a webcam review. So I'm trying to, there it goes. So I just had to reset the cam link. So now we've got that. I'll just close that for the moment. I don't have a display out yet. Yes, I've got the OBSBot camera. I actually have three. I have three. I got the remote. I've had these for a little while now, but I can swap to this angle. And they're on the tracking mode now, so it's kind of using its AI hardware to track my face and kind of keep me centered in frame, which is cool. But right now I got to figure out why we're not getting a display out. Oh, I turned it off. That would be why. But yeah, we got the rig going. We've got the room cleaned up. We moved some shelves earlier. Got lights, room to play. We're finally getting to the point that we can actually do things with this space. I've had such a hard time getting to this point. It's taken a couple weeks really of cleaning. Okay, still claiming that there's no video. Why no video? Maybe over here. Oh, that just doesn't have power, right? There, okay. Our power source for the other transmitter was off. So it should work now. And then you can get a live feed. How are you this afternoon in Melbourne? Right? Would be afternoon, I would think. Okay, turn that off. Turn it on. Hopefully it's not the USB. Like surely that's power enough. Why isn't it waking up? It should turn on right away. I'm gonna try a different port. Sometimes these USB-Cs don't work one direction. You have to flip them, which is really stupid because they're supposed to just work, but currently no work. Very frustrating. Good things but tired. Dual PC setup is good to go. Just have to set up multi-stream. Heck yeah. Let me remind you on the app. So it's the plugin. It's a multi-stream, multiple output plugin from Sora Yuki. Stayed up to 4 a.m. last night, so yeah, for the crash to happen. Oh yeah, crash is coming. Snipper tool. Let me grab my snipping tool here. And copy this, and I'll just DM this over to you. Let's not switch things. Gorilla. There you are. If you don't have an app already, this one by Sora Yuki is the one I've used. I think that's the one that KG and I both recommend. It's the only one I've used, but he probably has the most experience, I would imagine. So I'm not getting this thing to power on. Oh, it's still off. What? Oh, idiot. Come on. You'd think I'd have this stuff figured out by now. Why is it not tracking? Let me get this preview. No, I don't use Item or SC Live. I just use OBS and then stream out. YouTube now has a duplicating feature where it will go, it'll take in one input and then it just crops the middle to vertical. So you don't have to have a separate one for vertical output if you want to be on the shorts page. As of now, I don't know how to get my chats off of there, or if it's the same. Like, I just have one chat window and it's the horizontal stream. I don't know where to find the other one necessarily, but I don't want to have that many chat windows open right now without really setting stuff up. So why the heck? Oh, camera's off. Let's turn the camera on. That could help. So now it's probably trying to output. Oh, it's at a really crazy setting. Let's go way back. Okay, we're gonna find K 30. Can't remember if the I is better than the L. I don't know my compression very well. I might have been trying to output something way too high. For the life of me though, I can't get this thing to power up. What the heck? The other one's running fine. This is the transmitter, right? It is. That shouldn't affect it. It should turn on. I'm gonna try a different power cable. We'll just assume that's not working at the moment. Got this one. Just plug it directly under. Well, I'd love you to see a live feed of this, and we're close. Oh, it was the cable. What? I've used this for other things. It's a nice cable. What the heck? Maybe it just doesn't work with that. Okay. Video is imminent. We are getting video shortly. We're gonna go to settings. How do we actually? Oh, we don't need to change channels. I don't care about channels. Let's stay there. It says HD. I should be able to do 4K 30. Settings, pairing, version info, return, reset. Scene mode, HD mode. Let's turn off HD mode. Focus. What the heck? Maybe we just do 1080p. Just call it good. I'm sure that's plenty. Let me see if we're getting data back. No video because we're still. Yeah, we're transmitting 4K here, so let's go down to 1080-30. Okay. There we go. And there we go. So now I should be able to enable this. Hey, look at that shit. We'll just scale that up to the 4K timeline. Okay, you can leave shortly, but for now, you gotta check this out. Look at this. Oh, it's so freaking cool. How's our exposure? Right, auto 1250. Let's bring it up to like 800. Maybe down a little bit from there. 6400. I think we have a desync where I'm feeding 2997 to a 30 transmitter, 30 FPS transmitter. So I think we're getting a little bit of stutter. It's fine for the live stream, but I'll probably do a local. I haven't, oh, it's transmitting. Thank you. Forgot that it transmits over HDMI too. Appreciate it. Yeah, now we've got this neat, we've got these neat reveal shots that we can do. In all of its stuttery glory. And all the dust, because I didn't clean it off all the way. Okay, that's one thing. I do have this lovely hourglass, which is one of my favorite subjects of late. I'll turn this centered like that, and we'll put this bad boy back in manual. And we'll probably actually increase our depth of field a bunch, and then we'll just crank the ISO to match. Somewhere in there looks pretty good. And now we can orbit. I would be able to get this with an SD card at a much higher frame rate, maybe 1080 120 or 180. So it'd actually be slow-mo on a shot like that. Yeah, I adore hourglasses. They're so cool to look at like this. Oh, hey, you had mentioned the Elgato Facecam to me, and you're actually part of the reason that I did the whole webcam review stuff that I've been working on for the last few months. Last month and a half was meant to be a week, and got more than that, as things do. I'm trying to find this little tripod easily, but I don't see it, so I think we'll just grab it. I do have one. Hey on. Yeah, that's an hourglass. Oh, Sean. Okay. Shala's using an Elgato Facecam. Nice. Very Days of Our Lives. I'm not familiar with that show. I'm assuming it's a show. But yes, so I got one in for testing. This is the Facecam Pro. It's kind of badass and kind of not. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it has a very unique use case. It excels if you want 4K 60. I don't know why you would, especially on Twitch, because you can't even stream at 4K. But if you wanted 4K 60, it seems to be the only thing that could do it reliably. It can do 1080 60 really well, uncompressed, pretty good image, but it's not very good at low light. And I found my phone was better in low light than it was. So potentially a $15 app could be better than the $300 webcam. If you wanted a lot of features, the OBSBot pan tilt zoom cameras are pretty cool. As you can see, because you're freaking getting automatic tracking of me as I run around my room trying to figure out where my heckin' tripods are. This is the wrong one. I wanted a much smaller one. And I struggle in this tiny space. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we could mount this up. And I do have some shots of this prior when I first got this turntable. It's so cool. Dang, that's way too freaking tall. I think we can raise this. I think you're wanting an OBSBot. If you don't need hand tilt zoom, absolutely don't get it. It's a cool feature, but you really would need it. You have to have a reason for it. I do, because I have the project room, and the plan is to have cameras in some different spots that I go to, and then I can have this tracking shot, which is a little more dynamic, and I also do YouTube. So I'll get my use out of it, but they do have the meat, the tiny meat, I think, M-E-E-T. It's like $50 from OBSBot, I believe, and it looks pretty good too. That might be a decent one, but in all honesty, your phone or an old phone with Droid Cam is really the way to go. It is so hard to beat, most likely. Depends on your phone. And I don't think that is exclusive to Androids. I believe the app works on iOS. I will have to verify that for the review, but okay, that looks pretty good. Then we'll come around there. Absolutely get in the way. Could actually turn that to the edge, just barely like that. Okay, let me swap this back so everybody can see. That's what we're working with. Loosen that up. Kind of imagining this working better. I think I'm gonna boost the light back here a bunch. Yes, yes. Droid Cam. Bring my phone in frame here. If I can get this in a spot that, not quite. There, the one on the left, Droid Cam. And I can actually, why don't we do a live demo? I can turn it on, it'll load, it connects to my computer, and then I will, oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. Now you're on my phone. A Motorola 50, Moto 50 Edge Ultra, something like that. But it worked on my budget phone too. So I can get audio. This is completely wireless. You can dial in the settings if you want. You can use the different cameras. I don't know if I've gotten the cameras to work on here actually. But I can use front and back. So I could preview myself as well. So super cool. The audio is probably out of sync a little bit. I have a delay set up for my other stuff, but yeah, it's amazing. It can be wireless. You can also plug it in to the phone as well and use it tethered if you want to charge it. But if you're like me and you've got an obsession with lots of camera angles, then yeah, I could set this up in the corner wirelessly and do some pretty crazy things. Okay, I'd like to get maybe the lenses in frame here. Oh, I think I have some dust on my sensor. It's a weird reflection. Yeah, I do. Or on this, or on the lens. That's frustrating. And then we'll focus this on that bit of text there that's now very dirty. That comes around there. This looking nice. All right, let's give it a shot here. We'll start in the middle, let this run around. Of course it stalls out. I've got so much weight on this thing. Then my low side is over here. Maybe we'll start back here. Got a little shadow and I'll just push it around. I so desperately want to get a slider, a camera slider, and do these cool compound macro shots. Oh well. I've got enough gadgets to play with at the moment. Okay, that's pretty cool. Annoyed I have something on my lens. Let's toggle that off, turn the camera off, and we'll try to clean it. Always turn your camera off when you're changing lenses. The sensor has a lot of static when it's turned on. Thank goodness this is an autofocus lens. Crazy focus shift there. So I've got another macro lens, which is half the focal length of this one. That might really be the way to go for some of this type of stuff. Why didn't I turn that on? There we go. Let's see, did we clean that spec off? It kind of looks like we did. That's cool. Oh, that looks nice. Unfortunately, with the wireless transmission, this is a little bit clunky. I might honestly be better off to just plug it in directly. I think this would reach. But I have a slight desync between the two frame rates, which wouldn't be a problem, I don't think, with a different setup, but with how I have it right now, it is a problem slightly. So that's pretty dope, pretty cool. We have to also show off the other webcams. So we've got the one from Logitech, the C15. in all of its glory. How do I want this one to mount? There-ish. I wish I had my other, I'm gonna peek around again one more time for my little tripod. I have an itty bitty tripod somewhere. And I thought I had it in a, what did I have it in? Little gray container. Which I seem to have misplaced, and of course everything in this room has been moved around recently a bunch of times. That's how it goes. Okay. Crap. Thought it would be easy to find. Maybe. Must be the other gray container. Not all of the last 7 that I've checked. Maybe this gray one. That doesn't really make sense. Oh God. What the heck? No. Oh. That's all cabinet hardware. Well, I'm missing it. Oh well, that's frustrating. I need like a little magnet. To mount this to. Heck. There's that. Maybe I did put it away. That's why I'm not finding it. Doesn't look like it. It's just an itty bitty tabletop tripod. I do have a nice silver one. I think that might be upstairs. That might be worth grabbing really quick. I'll go grab that since we don't have too much going on. That'll give me, might actually look nicer too. So I will be right back. I did. Appreciate it. Found it. What are you making? I think I'm okay. Thank you. Ugh. Covering the doorway sucks. Okay, I think it's time for a fan. A lot of lights and heat in here. Yes. Yeah, Gorilla, I know. Hence the brief conversation. This lavalier mic does not mute from it. So I figured whatever. It'll be okay. Okay, this might work really well. This is a nice looking little tripod. The darndest thing about macro shots is everything is always super dirty. There's all kinds of fingerprints, hair. I think we'll get a lower shot on this one. Drop this down a little bit to the transmitter. I think that's pointing straight enough. And then we'll focus this. Our little preview is all wonkadoodle. There we go. Right in there somewhere. Doesn't look too bad. And I'll bring this back up to you. And we'll give her a spin. Way too fast, but kind of cool at the same time. Why don't we'll center this. Try to focus. And we lift this up a tiny bit to catch some of that upper light. Or I could move this. That's kind of cool. Catching that reflection there. And then we'll focus on the 1080p or HD. Yeah, HD 1080p. Is that pretty good? There it is. That's crispy now. Cat hair and everything. So, hey, not bad. That looks pretty cool. And then we've got, are we getting our fairy lights in the background, I think? I want to know. Yeah, we are, because they're flickering. So if I turn these lights off or change them in intensity. Oh, I'm literally standing in the way. That's my fault. Hang on. Figuring out where to put myself here. Okay. There, yeah. So those little fairy lights actually show up quite a bit. They're hexagonal at the moment because we're stopped down. If I open up this aperture, they get bigger and rounder. What were we at? F. It looked about that size. I'm gonna turn these other ones, the globe bulbs, on full power. I'm curious to see how they look in the background. Ooh, that is cool. That bokeh looks so good. Thanks for the lurk. Have fun, Lydia. Enjoy your day. We'll be wrapping up pretty soon here. It's about bedtime for me. But we're getting this all set up so I can do some proper footage soon. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Look at that. We got this. We got it all set up. This is an old webcam now, and it looks old. It's kind of beat up. Discolored fingerprints. You can see the camera and the reflection on the shiny side, which is, oh, frick. Sorry. I bumped the handle into myself. Trying to get a shot here. It's a little bit hard to move steadily. They are going to come out with a motorized version of this turntable. But at the moment, I don't need it. Oh, you know what I just realized? Oh, yes. So this is 1080p. I did not get the 4K running. I can actually put this back to 1080. No, I don't care about the reflection. I would just plan it differently. If I cared, I'd put that side in shadow or something so you couldn't see behind. I'd like to get this back to 1080p. How do we, oops, get this to, oh, that's because it is. That's confusing. Why? Oh, I found it randomly. Okay. So, I've got a local. Oh, I don't have a local recording. Let's start a local recording. Oops. That's okay. We're still experimenting. So now I've got a local recording going that is 4K. And then you guys are getting a downsampled version to 1080, but this stream is 1080, which is, you can forward those into 4K. So what I can do is frame this, turn off tracking, and frame me here. And then you guys can see all of this. Why is that so freaking bright back here? It really isn't capturing exposure very well right now. We'll just do that in the meantime. But yeah, now I can pull the 1080 out of the corner in editing if I really wanted to. So we'll do another sweep of this one. We'll maybe grab another camera, set it up, a couple demo shots, and then we'll probably call it a night after that. You know, work night and all that. Then we could reverse, bring a shot back in reverse if we bring it from over here, and then swung it, and then let it spin down on its own, hopefully. Wherever it wants to land. Yeah, good enough. Kind of caught the cable. Hey, that's pretty good. All right, let's grab a different camera. I would grab my OBSBot, but my third one is upstairs for when I stream up there. And I don't want to grab my one off the monitor with it plugged in. Got that. Just thread this in there, if it will. There we go. Now we just got to clean it off. Dirty. Maybe a microfiber towel will help more. Hey Cowboy 304X, how are you doing? Welcome in. I've got a webcam review that I've recorded a bunch of testing for, and I'm trying to get set up to do some B-roll for it. We were cleaning this room earlier that I was working on, and with all that space, now we're able to set up this orbit rig, which is a tabletop with rails, and those rails can spin. And then we've got a camera, a mirrorless camera mounted, and it's transmitting wirelessly back to the stream computer. I'm doing good. Holding out the Sunday scaries, sorry. Got work tomorrow, which I'm trying not to think about too much, beyond the fact that I need to go to bed soon. But how's your weekend been? Yeah, it is pretty cool. I'm having a lot of fun. I've got room to set up lights and everything now, so I can kind of plan my shots, get everything lined up where I want it to end, and then I can try to kind of work it backwards from there. But yeah, that's what we're working on now. Basically, I've been streaming a lot of projects from my room. I do a lot of maker projects, and I'm planning to do a lot. So while I make videos and work on projects, I'm just going to live stream some of those processes and share it with you guys. And then I do also game, and that'll be some of my projects as well. I want to build a sim racing rig from scratch. That's the eventual goal. That's my true passion. I do like FPS games. I've been playing a little bit of Fortnite with some friends. Han and chat, we've been playing a little bit. But yeah, my weekend's been decent. I worked Saturday, so it's actually been kind of a short weekend. But I've had a lot of fun. I've had some friends to hang out with and play some games. I've been getting back into Fortnite, trying to get sweaty again. Oh, that's why we're not going anywhere. Our freaking transmitter's holding up the lens. I used to play Rust. I played Rust when it was in beta. I don't think I played it. I don't think it came out in alpha. I can't remember. But before they added a lot of the stuff I played, we had a clan that was called Sheep. We'd go around with the voice chat and we'd go "Bleh" in the darkness, and we'd take off our loincloths and surround, really they were victims. Yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, we'd just mess around on there. I loved getting the rifle that they had in that game, the single shot rifle, and then I'd have like 5 of them in my inventory, and I'd never reload. I just switched to the next one. So someone would come out of their base and I'd just shoot them like 5 times in a row. I also had this one moment, which is, you know, prideful gamer moment. This guy ran up at me. He's like, I'm friendly, I just want to talk. Because I was just running past his base going to get some resources. Comes up kind of close, I'm a little apprehensive. And he's talking game. He's like, oh, no, I'm not here to hurt you or anything. He's just getting close. And then he pulls out a shotgun, and I managed to switch to my pistol and spam fire, and I happened to land on his head and killed him before he even got like a second shotgun shot off on me. And he was so convinced I was hacking, but I'm like, I wasn't, bro. I just good, man. He was pissed. Yeah, it must have been the water pipe. But I really haven't played that game too much. I played a little bit on a server, but it must have been 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not too into the PvP survival. I think it's, I don't know, I just feel like I waste a lot of my time and I get really upset with losing resources and stuff. I'd rather play a game that's built a little bit differently, that values my time a little bit differently. But, you know, whatever floats your boat. All right, we'll do a spin here to reveal the logo. In all of its dusty glory. And then let's reframe. We'll try to get this lens, and let's see if we can, honestly, a locked off shot here, and I just swing this overhead light. Pretty dope. I don't know why this light has so much trouble to move. Is it because we've got it hitting up here? Is it hitting the other mounted one? I thought they were cleared. I guess it is. That's the sound I've been hearing. I gotta adjust that. Dang. Oh well. Let's get another swing through here. Hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you like to mess around on there with your buddy and just play for a week or two? Yeah. Yup. What other games do you play? You play any of the shooters? Rust isn't one of those games that it's like, I only play Rust, I feel like. We could actually dial up the brightness a ton here. Ooh. Then that going over here. Hey, that's pretty cool. Bring that back down. The trouble is, if I want these lights in the background to even show up at all, I really have to keep the brightness down on the overheads so they don't overwhelm. We'll grab focus back on the lens, or around the lens, I guess. And then we'll do a couple swings here, see how this looks. Hey, not bad. Let that spin out. VR game Ghost of Tabor with a little bit of Roblox if your girl wants to play with her. Awesome. I played a little bit of Roblox, but I've always been a Minecraft fan. Minecraft is probably my most played game just from my teenage years. And then Valheim, I think, might be my favorite game. Definitely my favorite survival game. And then I've played a bunch of shooters. Well, I say a bunch, but a fair few that I really like. Usually nothing AAA. I've always kind of been a cheapskate. I play the off-brand shit, but it's still fun. Fortnite has been fun lately just because I have friends to play with. I think we can get a shot here. I think if we stop there, that'll be kind of cool. I just hate how dirty it is. So we'll get a shot from behind. And yeah, you used to play Minecraft? Yeah. If you're at all wanting to get back into it, there's a lot that's changed. Not filming commercial. This is B-roll, so this will be playing over a voiceover on a video I'm working on my YouTube channel. That's the YouTube channel I'm streaming to right now as well. I'm working on a webcam review. I did a bunch of testing to compare. Basically, the goal was what's actually worth your money. So I've gotten a, if I can find it, I bought a $300 high-end webcam, the Elgato Facecam Pro. And I bought that to compare. I got the Obsbot Tiny 2, which is what is being filmed on now. And I actually bought that in a kit, so I have multiple of those, and I can switch cameras, and they do auto tracking, which is really cool. So the Facecam Pro it's always smooth. It like never jitters, it never gets slowed down. It's always a really consistent frame rate, whatever you set it at. It can go pretty high resolution, up to 4K. It can do that at 60 FPS. Even my mirrorless camera behind me, which is like a $2,000 camera, it can't do 4K 60 without cropping in, without zooming in. So this has a pretty wide angle lens, which is nice. But you really don't need 4K. You really don't need 60 FPS. So I wouldn't recommend it just kind of based on it's really unnecessary. I don't really see a use case for it. The OBSBot, I'll just pull this one so you can see what it looks like. So this is the other camera that I switched to. This is the Tiny 2. It's on a gimbal. Like, see how I'm turning it, and I'm turning the base and the top isn't even moving, or the top isn't turning towards you. I'll move this out of the way. So it's a gimbal mechanism, and it can be remote controlled from the software or from a remote to point in different directions. It also has some built-in AI features where it can track your face. So if I put this angle to track, now it'll kind of roughly center me. And as I move around, it's going to kind of follow me around the room. Because I'm recording in a room and I might work at the computer here and then go back over here and work on a laser graver, 3D printing project, whatever, it's nice to have the freedom to just put this into auto track and have it follow me around the room. It is also 4K, but only 30 FPS, but you don't need 4K 60, in my opinion. 4K 30 is plenty. The resolution does actually make sense now because you can point it at different things and then you can zoom in as well. So now it's cropped into 1080p, so it still looks probably just as good on a 1080p stream, like what I've got now. But now we're zoomed in twice as much. Whereas you can zoom in with the Elgato, but it doesn't move. Like, you don't want to point at different areas. And of course we are absolutely blasting this room with light at the moment. So yeah, you can have the close-up function. Everything you can control from the remote can also be done with the software, and the software is pretty good as well. I'm trying to get it to go back to, we'll just set it to position 1. You can preset positions, which is nice, and it just flicks to those. So I could set, I could zoom all the way in, which goes past 1080p. I think it goes to like 720. So that's all the way zoomed in. And then I can jog the gimbal around. So it's a little bit fuzzy for you guys now because it's lower resolution than 1080. And then I'm gonna I'll press and hold this third position here. And now I can press position 2, which was my last one. And it moves over to it, and then I can press 3. And it goes back. And I can do that on the fly, which is cool. So there's a lot more features to, yeah, holy bright. Yeah, super light, super bright. I can turn this backlight down. I just had it for the other part. That's what the light was coming from. There's a lot more features on the OBSBot Tiny 2 than the Elgato. It's the same price. It's $300 for just one camera. And then it's extra if you want the remote. But you can do everything from the software too that the remote can do. The remote just lets me be across the room and do stuff. It does also have gesture control. If I had it enabled, I think this starts tracking, so I could turn it on and off from tracking. There's also, maybe it's that, I forget. And then you can zoom it with these different gestures. But I toggle it off because I use my hands too much when I talk, and I accidentally turn it on and off constantly. So it's really cool. It's $300. It's nicely constructed. It's all metal. It gets a little bit warm, but it seems to work okay. It's my preferred camera for my use case because I move around. It's very flexible. It does stutter, not all the time, but if I'm zooming, you probably saw it kind of wasn't the smoothest. If I'm cropping in, doing different things, sometimes even just using it, it will stutter a little bit, which sucks because that's the Elgato, the Facecam Pro 4K is always smooth. It's like they've overbuilt this really enormous webcam to just always have a consistent image, which is cool. And for some people, that's exactly what they want. The Tiny 2 stutters a little bit here and there. I'm willing to live with that though. I'm in a live production environment. It's not gonna be top-notch quality. I'm not putting really expensive HDMI cameras all over the place. I'm finding a solution that is more affordable. They do have a cheaper version, which is the Tiny 2 Lite, I believe, and it's about $150. It's plastic construction instead of metal. And the image is not as good. It doesn't work as well in low light, but it's still like the Tiny 2 is exceptional and it's like still really good. It's not exceptional, but it's really good and it's half the price. If you really wanted a pan tilt zoom webcam, I'd look at that. Insta360 also sells pan tilt zoom cameras. In the comparisons I looked at, they were on par or a little lesser in some instances. And it seemed like OBSBot was the company I just went with, I chose. Is it plug and play? I would say it is. I had trouble initially because I bought the 3 camera kit that has a dock and the remote to get everything to work. So I had to learn all those different parts. But basically, the way these work with streaming, yes, there's external wires. There's a USB-C cable that plugs in to the computer. It's 6 feet or so, just a standard length that comes with it. It's a C to A cable, so just plug it into your USB-A 3.0 port and it goes to Type-C on the other end. Works great. The biggest thing I had to learn was what a virtual camera was. And there's a plug and play mode where you can, in OBS, that's what I'm using to capture. I can plug one of the OBSBot camera in and just select it in OBS and I can just control that through the software. Or if I use a virtual camera, it basically presents a scene to OBS and I switch that scene from the remote to OBS. I'm not actually switching inside of OBS. I don't have access to 3 cameras. I have access to a virtual camera. So it is plug and play. It's not as straightforward as a really cheap USB cam that you just plug in and it just turns on. Like you need to start the software basically. But it is basically plug and play as far as this type of stuff goes. Okay, not bad though, because I've seen some cameras that have like 50 wires going to it. Yeah, it's just one wire. One wire for power and data. And it'll transmit, I think it's compressed 4K 30, and it would be compressed 4K 30 even on the Elgato. There's just too much data to have uncompressed 4K, but 1080p and 4K look exceptional on the Tiny 2. They do have a wireless option, but you have to buy an NDI license, which is basically a communication standard over Wi-Fi. But it's not necessary really. What do you have an Android phone or an iPhone? Let me look up quickly. My top recommendation is actually an app for your phone. Okay, so what I would get is an app called Droid Cam, and I was just talking to Han about that in chat a minute ago. Let me bring this up again. I'll just show you. So the app on the left, Droid Cam. Look that up in the App Store. There's a free version that'll have a watermark, and you can test it out. It gives you basically all the functions of the paid app, but don't worry about the 4K that they say. The 4K is hard to enable, but it'll run on your phone. So what I can do is I'll just start the app, loads up. It has my Wi-Fi pre-configured because I've already set it up. I go into OBS, I click that scene, and I'll just drop this by one layer. And now I have you on my phone. It looks honestly really good for webcam because it's using a freaking phone, which is pretty decent quality. I can also use my other camera, and then I can preview on my phone. I can actually look at the phone screen to frame and everything. I do have all the settings of white balance, so I can change to that. I have auto settings as well. I can exposure compensate. I can change my focus types. So you basically get manual controls on it. And it's, yeah, flashbang. It's completely wireless. Your app just gets set up on your phone and you connect it with a plugin on OBS, free plugin. And the pro version is $15 to get rid of the watermark. So it's basically 15 bucks. You use your phone. You can use it wirelessly, plug your phone in for power. You can also plug in your phone to your computer and just communicate over that and skip Wi-Fi altogether. The signal is a little bit better, I think. But I basically set up lights around me, and I tested a couple scenes that were like better lighting, like exposed better. The lights weren't like pointing at the camera lens. There was plenty of light. And then I tested a couple scenes where the lights were misplaced, or it was just the room light, so it didn't look as good. And then I tested one that basically had like no lights. So I tested 5 different lighting scenarios for, I think it was 5 different webcams. And the phone app just about beat everything. It was on par, in my opinion, with the $300 webcams in the low light, or exceeded it, like less noise, looked better. Because some people, I have a CRT monitor, because I've got a retro themed build for my streaming rig. So I've got a retro themed case, but it's modern hardware in the case. Don't mind all the drinks. And then a CRT screen. And that CRT screen is pretty dim. Let me grab focus here again, track. The CRT is pretty dim. So I was using that CRT to light my face, along with a little side light. And the OBSBot Tiny 2 kept up. The freaking DSLR obviously kept up. It's huge. The Facecam Pro really did struggle. It was pretty noisy, but my phone, a budget phone, my old budget phone, kicked ass for 15 bucks. There is a way to enable 4K. I wouldn't bother with it. I don't think 4K makes sense. I don't know if you're planning to stream, if that's your goal. But like right now, we are full screen, 1080p. This is probably one of the best quality streams you're gonna see on Twitch before someone gets access to 1440p through the affiliate program, once they have enough people. I'm gonna try to snooze an ad here that's about to play. There we go, snoozed it for 5 minutes. But so we're doing some stuff on the back end to make this look really good. But think about this getting shrunk down to actually fit on a game screen. So if I take this scene and I place it in the corner, like I'm playing a game, what good is 4K? That's like 480p in the corner. 4K getting shrunk down that size, there's no point to it. I could be on a 720p webcam and I'd look just as crispy. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about 4K features. It's nice if you're doing full screen, if you're doing YouTube, any kind of post-production stuff, it's okay. But don't make it your end-all be-all. 1080p, plenty every day. That'll get you all the way. And then use your phone. I think that's the way to go. And you can get the free app, try it out. What did I do? I had some trouble. I bought the app on one phone and then already had the app on another phone, and I tried to go to the second phone and enable it, and it wouldn't enable with the full version at first. I basically had to click buy again, and then it checked my receipt, and then it knew that I had bought it. It's a little bit weird if you run into that, but yeah, it seems like a good app. Really impressive. To get wireless functionality, like on my mirrorless camera, to get wireless functionality, I had to buy, I think it was a $300 to $500 wireless transmitting kit. So this receiver connects to that transmitter. So it costs the cost of a webcam to go wireless on this thing, so I can spin all the way around. Kind of ridiculous. It has other uses. I use it for other things. But yeah, wireless, getting wireless is really expensive in general. But you can do it with the OBSBot. They have the Tail Air, or the Tail, OBSBot Tail. It's a pan tilt zoom camera. It has wireless options, but you have to pay for it. You have to get the NDI license. But it has more ports. It has HDMI out. It can go over Ethernet. I believe you can get a dock for the Tiny 2 that gives you wireless functionality, but again, you have to buy the NDI license, and I think that's like $100 or something. It's not like the cheapest thing. So I'm just gonna start kind of wrapping up here. I need to be getting to bed. But yeah, if you have any more questions in the next couple minutes, hit me up. Eventually I'm gonna get this video edited. That's gonna kind of demo the actual results. I'm planning to make a couple videos. One is gonna show the results and explain why I think the results are showing what they show, and kind of guide your purchase that way. And then another is just gonna be more like, I just tell you what it is, and then we kind of show some different stuff, but we're not quite as like dry technical, because I can be very, 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 very dry and technical. If you haven't noticed already. Do they make a handheld camera? Like for live streaming, or, because this is handheld. All I have to do is loosen this, and I'm holding it by hand. Like this camera it's just a hybrid camera, like for filming a vlog. Yeah. So before they get banned, because they're looking at a ban for DJI, you might look at the DJI Osmo, I think it is. Let me find the exact name for you. Osmo, because they have a bunch of, it's the Pocket. And I could maybe, I think I'm good to get a scene real quick of, we'll just do a display cap, and we'll grab our 1080p monitor. So it's this guy. would probably be my like higher end recommendation. I think they might be coming out with a new one, the Pocket 4. They're like $500 or so. This price is probably showing you a kit that comes with filters and different things. But this little guy, DJI in America. Our current executive administration is anti-China. So they're trying to ban them. They think they're collecting data and sending it to their military or something. Who isn't, in my opinion? And they're a product disruptor because they have a good product. So it's kind of annoying that they're trying to ban them. They really are looking at the drones. They want to ban the drones, but they'll just ban the whole company. Yes, yep, the Trump administration wants to get DJI banned. So that's kind of still up in the air. But this is a gimbalized camera here. So it's going to stabilize your handheld shots. This screen flips from portrait to horizontal, and it will crop the output to match. So you have a preview that kind of matches whatever format you're trying to produce in. I believe you have some gimbal controls here, and you can probably flip it to point different ways. Would that be good for like car rollers, since the gimbal? Car rollers, like drag racing, like car rollers. Highway, just driving on the highway, it would be fine. It's not gonna be like the smoothest, I don't think. I mean, so gimbals, sorry, we'll get you through your ad. Three minutes. Let's see. 2 minutes. Turn that off as well. I need to get my Discord going. It'd be handy for something like this. Oh, we've got a preview on a preview. Heck yeah. Gotta love it. Yeah, maybe I can grab a... We'll just delete that. Delete that for now. Got 1 more minute. 15 seconds. What do I want to clean up here? That's off. Those can turn off easily. Turn you off. Camera's packed up. That's good. We'll use that in a minute. I think this will be good for another shoot. Leave that up there. Throw that over there. Got those lights. Let me turn you off. Another 30 seconds. What did you catch on? Oh, interesting. Oh, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. Should have thought of that sooner. Okay. 10 seconds. Silly ads. Wish I didn't have them. Still got Mike's still going though. We're what, two hours in? far in are we? Three hours in. That's not bad. Welcome back. So you were asking if it would be good on the highway, like would it absorb vibrations? So the gimbals, basically when you hold something with your hand, there's micro jitters. The easiest way to see that for yourself is use your phone camera, zoom it as far in as it'll go, look at something and try to hold it steady. And you'll see these tiny movements, especially if you turn off the image stabilization. That's what a human hand does normally. That's completely normal. You can rig cameras like that to have a shoulder mount, to have more points of contact, to eliminate the handshake. But a gimbal compensates for that really, really well. And the Osmo will do that fine. The bigger gimbals even start smoothing out your panning movements, your tilting movements, your walking movements, but then you have to get really good at compensating for your steps. Now a car is going to be smooth across, but if you mount it to a dashboard, it might vibrate more than that gimbal could compensate for. So I don't know if it would be perfect. You might look at some dash cam videos, and if there's a dash cam that just looks smooth, then surely a gimbal would be smoother. But if you're trying to, you said rollers, so maybe you're on a highway filming another vehicle, it would work. It would probably be smoother than your phone. I wouldn't hype it up to be the end all be all, but I think it would work decently. But it's a good product. It gets a lot done. It's super versatile. It lacks like peak image quality. It depends. I mean, I've been tempering my expectations a lot, and I will take phone footage a lot more than I used to. I used to have a workflow with a different camera that had the most information possible. And it just means I have hard drives that are full of stuff, because at the end of the day, it gets compressed when you upload it to anything. So you're throwing all that away. The only opportunity it gives you is to tweak the image more than a different camera. And the Osmo doesn't have the most ability to tweak the footage, but neither does your phone typically. So it's kind of like a stabilized phone in a lot of ways. But yeah, I'd look at some reviews of it and get a feel for it. But it's a decent all-around camera. Vlogging style cameras, the Sony ZV E10 does quite decently. I think the ZV E10 Mark II got an update recently, and it can do 4K 120, which is kind of insane. The ZV, I think it's the ZV E10, that range uses the same hardware, like sensor and processing, as some of their higher end, like multi-$1,000 cameras. It's just really, really small, a really small package. And as long as you aren't doing really long takes in a, hotter environment, you can really push that camera. But it's probably like a $1,200 camera. So it's in a different league for sure. And I think it still has interchangeable lenses. But if you just want something easy to use, there's the Osmo Pocket. I would always encourage just trying your phone out though. That's where I've messed up, is anything I do, I could just about use a phone except for interchangeable lenses. Like I couldn't get a macro shot like I just did very easily on my phone. But I can with the mirrorless camera. But yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. If you have more questions, you can catch me on another stream. I don't really have a schedule or anything. I just, when I have time with work and everything. I do have a Discord. It's not fully set up yet for stuff. So eventually I'll have a Discord I could share with you and we could catch up on there. Yeah, for the moment, I would recommend following if you had some more questions and wanted to. Yeah, no problem. Oh, thanks. Appreciate the follow. Yeah, I see that now. Thank you. 42 minutes ago. Quite a while ago. Appreciate it. So, yep, that's it from me. Try to recap what we did. So we moved our shelves from the back wall to the side. So now we have all of this lovely space in the back. We moved our Veripole back so we could get our lights back there, which it looks okay, but it's nice not having shelves behind me. We updated everybody on the addition of the IKEA furniture to hold all of our camera rigging stuff. We demoed the turntable with the wireless transmission and started getting some test shots for B-roll for the upcoming webcam video. And we had some fun in the project room, setting up all the lights and everything. Soon we're gonna get over to this. Ooh, wrong way. And it's gonna take a minute. This beautiful thing. God dang it. All right, come on. Get over there. This beautiful thing is a UV. That's my tea from. I have too many cups up here. I'm sorry. This is a UV engraver, laser engraver. This is an image that I did a dither pattern on. It's like a lakeside with mountains and stuff. But yeah, it's an amazing tool. We're going to be playing with that a bunch. This is going to be the backbone of a lot of projects going forward, a lot of maker stuff. But that's the updates as best I can remember them. So I will catch everybody in the next streams or on my YouTube, Better Done Right. We're also here on channel Fimorth on Twitch. We play games and we make stuff. I will catch everyone later.